Hello everyone, welcome back to another video brought to you by Dana's Electrical Services. And today I have a video for you that has been long overdue. This video should have been done like almost a year ago, to be honest. So let's waste no time and get into it. In today's video I will be going through the JPS bill in detail, trying to break down every single details that is on the JPS bill so everyone can have equal understanding. First thing, disclaimer: at the time of recording this video, my only affiliation with JPS is as a customer. So so if you hear that and you might ask, so what makes you qualified to explain this JPS bill in a way that I can understand it? Well, I can use my knowledge as I can use my knowledge that I received from being a trained electrical engineer and try and break things down from that standpoint, and what I understand from this JPS bill. And also I did some additional research so I can explain it to you in a way that you can understand. Before I get into it, if you are interested in these and other videos, you are welcome to subscribe to my channel, Dana's Electrical Services. It would be greatly appreciated. Yeah man, subscribe. Now let's get down to business. So we are going to start with the top right hand corner of the bill. So at the top we have invoice date. So this is the date that the invoice was generated. So that's that part up here, the date that the invoice was generated, right? First thing to the top right. Below that we have the invoice number, right? Invoice number. The invoice number is the unique number for this specific invoice. So in the same way you would get like a receipt number, this is the same way you have an invoice number for this specific invoice or this specific bill. Below that you have what you call rate, right? And as a residential customer, what you would see is rate 10, right? The rate differentiate the types of customer that you are. So for residential customer, you would be on rate 10, and this JPS to do the calculation for your bill. So like different types of customers have different rate. So you'd have like rate 10, which is residential. Rate to everything else other than rate 10 is non-residential. So you have like rate 20, rate 40, rate 50, rate 70. I think there's rate 60. Yeah, rate 60 is what rate 60 is like the street light and traffic signals and stuff like that. So as a residential customer, you should be seeing rate 10. And I think I can use this opportunity to say that this explanation is more geared towards rate 10. Yep. So before, okay, let's go below that where you have please pay and you see the total. This is the total amount that is currently due or owed to JPS, and you see by and you see a date. So whatever the total is, that is what you will pay, or that is what you should pay by that specific date. If you don't pay it on that date, after that date, the bill will be overdue. Okay, let's now go to the left, top left. Let me kind of highlight that right there. Over here, that is where we are. All right, so you have the JPS logo that I just circled. To the right, you have the JPS website, TRN number, which is JPS TRN number, and then below that you have GCT registration number, which is JPS GCT registration number. So those information belongs to JPS. Below that, let me kind of get it to be a little bigger. Yep. So below that you have account number, right? And this is your information. So that will be your account number. And you will, I don't think I blacked that out enough. So let me kind of black it out. Probably it's too late, but anyways, the account number, you will have like a 6 or 7 digit number, and then you have a dash, and then you have a 6-digit number. I'm not sure if the amount of number varies. I know that some have 6 digits or 7 digits, then dash, and then mostly after that it is 6 digits. But actually, those two number have significance, or those two sets of number have significance. So the first set of number that you saw is actually the customer number, and then you'll have the dash, and that will be the premises number. So you'll have the customer number dash premises number, and that together gives you your account number. Below that, you have your meter number, which is also not erased properly. Anyways, you have your meter number, right? The meter number, each meter has a unique number, and this number can be found physically on the meter also. Below that, you have the customer name, and that is the name of the customer that is on the account, right? So self-explanatory. Below that, you have the service address, and that is the address for wherever the connection is. Now, let's get down to more of the meat of the matter, or the matter of the meat. So, the billing period. Here we have 31 days, and this says from the 12th of September 2022 to the 13th of October 2022. I think this video, so this is like the latest bill. I'm currently recording this video in today's what, November 8th. I think this video won't be uploaded until like December probably 8th or something like that. Yep, so billing period, which is 31 days, that varies, depends on which month you're in. So it can be like 31 days, 30 days, probably even 29 days, or maybe even 28 also. So this billing period is from the 12th of September to the 13th of October, and the reading type is actual. So before JPS got their smart meters, you would actually see estimate sometime for the reading type. But now that the meters are smart and JPS now do the reading from office, it should always be actual, because they don't have to physically send out anyone to read the meter again. They can do it straight from their office, so you always get an actual reading at all times. Currently, that's how it is, or that's how it should be, as long as you have a smart meter. Date read is the date that the reading was taken. For the most part now, the date read and the end of the billing cycle date is going to be the same. Before this was the case, before when JPS actually had to send personnel to come and physically read the meter, the date read and the end of the billing period would normally be the same for the most part. But now that it is like this, now that they can read it remotely, the date is the same. Now we have two readings here. One is called previous reading and the other is called current reading. So this is the reading which is in kilowatt hour that JPS sees when they are reading your meter. So when they read your meter for the last time before this time, that was the previous reading, and then the current reading is the one that they are doing now, right? So so it is in kilowatt hour reading. To get the energy usage for that period, you will have your current reading and you will minus the previous reading from that. So the 7,606.15, you're gonna minus 7,254.37 from that, and that gives you 351.78, which is what we have right here. So you will have your current reading, and from that you will minus your previous reading, and this is what gives you their energy usage for this period. So in the same way, like for those who drive, you have the odometer on your car, and let's say Monday your odometer was reading 150 kilometer, and then on Friday it is now reading 200. This means that for the period from Monday to Friday, you would drive, which is 200 minus 150, you will drive 50 kilometers. So in the same way you will calculate that, that is the same way you will calculate the reading of your JPS usage for that period. Now, deposit. So in the same way you would pay down a deposit when you are renting a house, JPS now has that. This is something new. This wasn't always the case. So the deposit for residential customers is a minimum of a minimum of $6,000, and for business customers a minimum of $10,000. But what JPS actually says is that this should be for residential customers, the deposit should reflect the amount for usage of 60 days, and for business customer it should reflect the usage for 90 days. Not sure how they would calculate this when you're just doing your application for a meter or to get connection. Don't know how they will do that calculation. So currently you're going to see different figures for deposit, because if you are existing customer, you don't have to pay that deposit unless you get disconnected or you are doing an upgrade or something like that. So different people is going to currently see different figure for their deposit. Yep. So now let's move on. Where are we? Now down to the charges. This is where we are. So last bill is the bill before this one, right? Last bill is the bill before this current bill, and then you paid is how much you paid out of what was due, right? Balance brought forward is what is left. So if the bill came up to $1,000 and you only paid $900, that would mean you have a balance brought forward of $100, right? And then beside that we have current charges. So this is our current charges, and then we have total due. And you realize that our current charge and our total due is the same amount, and you say, but if the current charge and the total due is the same thing, why they have two different things? Well, if there was a balance brought forward, let's say the $100, that would add to the current charges, and your total due would be this. So the $100 would add to the current charge, which will give you a total of 26,700. Sorry, at the oh my god, this will give you a total charge of $26,264.29. So the total due is the current charge plus the balance brought forward, if there is any. Now let's go over to the right where we have exchange rate details. Below that we have base exchange rate and billing exchange rate. I don't want to dive into this too much because I don't fully understand it, if I should be honest. But JPS has a base exchange rate which remains the same. So before this bill, their base exchange rate was $145. Now this bill is $155, but the base exchange rate remains the same for the different months. So like the previous 11 months that I checked, the base exchange rate was $145. Now it is $155. So I guess there is an increase. The billing exchange rate, however, which is what we have here, that varies every month, right? So you know how JPS doesn't, once there's any adjustments, they doesn't foot the bill for that adjustment. They will pass it down to their customers. So their billing exchange rate change every month, and I will show you where in the bill that will cause an impact on what your monthly bill is. But before we get to that, let's go to this chart over here, this beautiful chart over here, this beautiful bar chart. And this bar chart shows you your usage for the past 12 months, right? And your usage is in kilowatt hour, and it shows you a beautiful trend. So from here you can see if your usage is increasing, it is decreasing, or if it is constant. And if you notice from this one here that it has been relatively constant for the past 5 months, right? The usage, and also you can use this to see if, just for graphical representation, to see if your usage is actually increasing or decreasing, or is actually something else that is causing your bill to increase or decrease. So let's say um your usage, let's say your bill last month was $15,000, and for some strange reason your bill this month is for $20,000. This is a quick way to look. The chart right here is a quick way to look to see if your usage actually increase, because if you're not seeing an increase on the usage, that means something else is causing that increase in the bill, which we will get into. Because it can be uh things like increase in fuel charge, but we'll get into that. So I'm not going to dive into it as yet. Actually, we're going to go into it shortly. So let's go to the right side here, where we have, so below how your bill is calculated. Well, we are currently looking at how your bill is calculated. At the top we have, well, you have unit cost and total, and at the top, the very top, you have balance brought forward. So whatever you owe from the previous month, or from the previous month, that will be at the top right there. And then below that you have energy, and energy first for up to 100 kilowatt hours, because the rate for the first 100 kilowatt hour use is actually different for your usage after that. So for the first 100 kilowatt here, the rate is $7.930. Everything over to the yeah, and the rest of usage is at a rate of $22.760, which is a big difference. But you know, how many persons are going to use less than 100 kilowatt hours for the month? Barely any customer. Anyways, so from there, you'll have your 2 unit cost for the first 100 kilowatt hours, and then your usage after that, which is 793, and then $5,730.51. And then you have the customer charge, which is like a service charge. Regardless of if you have any usage, you will have to pay that customer charge every month. And you have a total there of $7,000.99. Wow, $7,099.23. I think this whole lot of numbers are getting me confused at the moment. Anyways, that is our subtotal, and that is what JPS charge for the usage. Below that, you have FX adjustment. So you know how the FX rate changes. So the Jamaican dollars in comparison to the US dollars changes, right? It fluctuates. So sometimes there's a decrease, sometimes there's an increase, sometimes it strengthens, sometimes it loses its strength. So sometimes it gains values and sometimes it loses values. That's what I was looking for, right? So as I was saying previously, those changes, JPS does not absorb them, they pass them down to you. So if the Jamaican dollar loses value against the US dollars, and this is done because the Jamaica Public Service states that they buy most of their things in US dollars that they use to generate electricity. So as I was saying previously, the changes that happen, they doesn't absorb them. So if the Jamaican dollars loses value against the US dollars, they pass down that loss to you, and if it gains value, they also pass down that gain to you. Now, the big bad fuel charge. This is what has been causing a lot of problem. And as you can see here, the rate is a whopping $37 and 763 cents per kilowatt hour. And that adds to our JPS bill for this month a whopping $13,000, $284. Let me say it again, $13,284.27. Wow. Below that, we have IPP. Okay, let's discuss the fuel charge a little. So basically, JPS doesn't absorb the fluctuation in fuel price. So it's like saying, this is like you are buying a cake from someone. So they're selling you the cake, but at the same time, you have to pay for the ingredients differently. So it's like if you're buying a cake from someone and they say, well, I am selling this cake for $20, but the flour and the other ingredients that I use to buy this cake is for $30, so you actually have to pay $50. And you pay the $50 for this cake, and maybe tomorrow you go to buy another cake, and you give them $50 for a cake, and they said, no, today the cake is for $55. And you ask why, and they said, well, I'm still selling the cake for $20, but the ingredients that I had to buy to make this cake is now for $35, so now it is for $55. So basically that is how JPS works when it comes to the fuel charge. Now, below that we have IPP, variable charge. IPP means independent power providers. These are companies that actually generate electricity, and JPS buys electricity from them and sells it back to you. You have to actually pay for that. To be honest, I don't know. Basically, you have to pay for everything. So JPS buys it from them to sell to you, but you have to pay for it. I don't really understand the whole reasoning behind it, but that's how it works. So you have to pay for that separately. And then you have total electricity charges. And all of that comes together, give you $24,250.60. And below that, the government comes in and charge general consumption tax. So the GCT is 15%. And luckily enough, the taxable portion of the bill is above the 150 kilowatt hours. So you don't pay GCT on the first 150 kilowatt hour, which is the $9,825.97, but you pay tax on the usage after that, which is $14,424.63. So now you pay a taxable, well, now you pay a GCT of $2,163.69. And then below that we have a little nice thing here where if we pay our bill early, we get $250 discount on the next bill. So that is applied right there, and that makes our bill a nice total of $26,164.29. Let's just quickly run through this pie chart that we have here, and that just gives us a breakdown of our different usage. Well, that actually gives us a breakdown of what portion of this total that we have right here, what it goes to. So this big black part right here, let's go again, that big black part right there, that is actually fuel, which is a whopping 51%. So 51% of this right here is actually fuel charge. And then this is what JPS charge. So this is what JPS actually charge us for our usage, and this is for their independent power providers, and then this little cut right here is for the government. So that pretty much sums it up. I hope this video breaks down your JPS bill for you, and you now have a better understanding. um and then below down here we will actually have your name and your address of the bill, or the name of the on the account, and the address that it will, and the address that the bill will be sent to. That is if they physically still send you a bill, or that is if they still physically send you a bill, because JPS now moves everything online, so now they will only email the bill to you. So that's it. That is your JPS bill explained. And this was another video brought to you by Danai's Electrical Services. For more videos like these, please feel free to subscribe to my channel, Danai's Electrical Services. Thank you.